What's up, guys? It's Shamar again, and in this video I'm going to be doing a higher or lower game. So basically what this does is it checks or it asks the user to pick a number, and if the user is right on the money, they win. But if they're not, then they have to keep guessing, and it'll tell them if they need to go up or down. Now the source code is already on GitHub for this. I already made it, and I'm like going through it again now. And so basically, what I want to do is encourage you to add stuff to it. For instance, like if you want to put like some type of image of like a thumbs up image, and then like if they got to go lower, then you like rotate the image, and then before it's showing it, and now it's upside down, and tell them that they got to go lower. And if they got to go higher, then you rotate it back right side up and tell them if you got to go higher. But for this, I simply just use text. So I'm going to use the index.html. I didn't even use a style sheet for this. This is really simple. No jQuery, no style sheet, straight up HTML and JavaScript with a little bit of DOM manipulation. So I want to do HTML:5 to get that boilerplate template. Oops. That boilerplate. Let's do that. There we go. I want to say higher or lower. And so I am doing some styling. I didn't use a style sheet, but I did do a couple of styling things for this here. So all I basically did was I took everything basically, and I set the margin 0, padding 0, and border box for the box sizing. And then for the body tag, I just set it to a certain color. You can set it to whatever you want. I just set it to aqua, like for a theme there. If you saw my Mern Stack series that I did, I kind of had the same theme there. Thought it's a nice little theme to do. So now inside of the body tag, I'm just simply going to do an H1, and inside of there, I'm just going to say higher or lower. That's going to be like the title. And here I'm going to say style. So I'm going to add its own style tag here, width of 100%, text align center. And I want to do color of white. Then I want to do the background color of black. And that's it for the H1. That's the title. And so now what I want to do is I simply want to use a div. And this div is basically going to be like the div that contains like the actual like input field as well as the button and everything. So it'll display a block. And then it'll be margin top just to give it some spacing. And then I want to do a width of 100%. And so you can change the width to whatever you want. And if you do like a width of 80%, you want it in the center, and you have to do a margin left and right of auto. So anyways, I'm going to do H1. I'm going to say H1. And inside of there, I want to give this an ID of game response. And I want to do a style of 100% for the width. Text align of center again, so it looks deep. Then I want to do a margin bottom. This margin bottom will just simply be 3 view heights. I'm not putting any text inside of it because I'm actually going to use DOM manipulation to do that. So now what I want to do is an input tag. And instead of text, I want to use type number so that they can't even enter any text. So we automatically have that handled for us. I don't need a name for this one. I just simply want an ID, and I'm going to call this ID user input. And then I want to have a placeholder. What's up, guys? Welcome back. So I think if I remember, we were basically after we made the placeholder, so now we're setting the style for the input button. So that's the placeholder enter number. Now I'm doing a style, and I'm setting the border radius to 10 pixels all around. I have a CSS for beginners, JavaScript for beginners, and HTML for beginners. I haven't mentioned that already as well on my channel. So, I guess you can learn more about each one of those. So I want to do a display of block. And then I want to do margin, one view height for the top and bottom. And then I want auto for left and right. That's why I did display a block, so it'll be in the center. And I want to do width of 30%. So 30% of the screen width. And that's pretty much it for that. I kind of want to give the same style to the other. Well, actually, no, I'm going to give a separate style to the button. So I'm going to give the user two ways of entering the number. I'm going to use the enter key, and then I'm also going to give them a button to click on if they don't want to use the enter key, just to make it more user-friendly. So ID enter button. This is for if they want to use a button to enter. If they want to click a button, and then it'll just be checked value like that. And then it'll be a style of border radius. It'll be 10 pixels. It'll be display block. And then it'll be margin, one view height, auto, and then width of 30%. And this button is just going to simply say enter. So I'm going to bring this down here. I'm just going to say enter. And I'm going to actually copy this button because I'm going to use the same styling outside of this div here. And this is simply going to be the restart button. I'm going to call this restart button. And this is only going to show when the game is actually over. I can just say restart. And I'm going to use the on click of start over. So that's going to be another function that we make. And then I want to use the border radius and everything the exact same. Except I want to set this to a display of none by default just so it doesn't show up. And then I want one more, and this is going to be a H3. This is going to be for the actual number of attempts they have left. And so this is simply going to, this is going to be an empty H3 as well. Actually, I can just do that there. Make it look neater. And I'm just going to get this ID of tries. Style, I'm going to do position, fixed. I'm going to do bottom 0, so it's going to be in the bottom right. Right 0. And then I want to basically put our script tag below there. So for our JavaScript, this is going to be a source index.js. And so that's it for this here. Now I just want to do file index.js. And so now we're going to be using DOM manipulation because we're not using jQuery for this project. I use jQuery for my other game, Catch Me If You Can. So if you want to see how to use jQuery, you can look at that one. This one's very simple. So we're going to do var user input is equal to documents get element by ID, and we're simply going to do user input. This is for that input field. I want to do it for the enter button and the restart button. So enter button, and then the enter button. I want to do that for the restart button. There we go, restart button. Then I want to do game response, so that's going to be the actual text of letting the user know. Basically, like to go higher or lower. So it'll be game response. Like, let me actually make sure I did game response. I can't remember. Okay, yeah, I did. Okay, that's this one right here. H1 tag here. Okay, so now let me do the tries text You can name this something different if you want. That kind of looks weird. Tries text, but yeah, LMID tries. That's what we named it there. That's what I named it. And so basically now I want to just do a few variables. So winning number. So this winning number is going to be different each time. So by default, it's just going to be math floor. Now, if in my other game that I made, I showed you how to do it with an array, but in this one, I want to show you how to simply just do a number. So math random. Make sure you add your parentheses there. That's really important. And then times whatever you want. So 1,000 means it'll be a number between 0 and 1,000. But what if you don't want a number between 0 and 1,000? So then basically it'll be math floor, and then you just add 1 to it like this. Now it's between 1, or instead of between 0 and 999, it's between 1 and 1,000. I think that's how that works. So there you go. That's how you do that. Our number of tries is going to be equal to 15. I figured that's a decent number for this because it's actually really difficult. There's a lot of different numbers you can select. You can make it more precise to let them know how much closer they are. But I feel like I did a pretty decent amount to let them know. So you'll see in a second what I mean by that. So we want to make our game over function for when the game is over. And this is simply going to be game response, style, color, and setting that to red to let them know that they basically lost. So it'll be game response not style, inner text. And I'll set that to you lose. This might look familiar if you've seen the other two games that I put up. And then I'll do user input dot style dot display because we want to take this completely off of the screen, so we'll set it to display of none. The enter button we also want to set to the display of none. Now with jQuery we would just use the hide function. But here that's what this does, it sets the display to none. Now with jQuery, the difference between that and this is basically with jQuery it caches it in memory for what the actual element was before it was set to a display of none, so that it will actually update it accordingly. But with setting it to display of none, you don't really save the memory of the element. So that's why jQuery .hide is more useful than just simply setting the display of none. But for what we're doing here, it gets the job done. So tries text.style.display is equal to none. And then I want to do restart button .style.display, and I want to set this to a display of block so that we can use margin autumn on it. So it'll actually be in the center and everything, and it'll actually show up. So that's it for the game over function. So now that the restart button is showing, then I want to do another function, and I want to call this start over, meaning that the user wants to start the game over. And basically this is going to be game response.style. Well, actually I didn't even use a style for this, but I just want to set the game response inner text, and I want to just set it to empty like that. And then I want to do user input style display. And so now we switch it. We set this to a block again. We set the user input value because we want to clear it out. Otherwise, it would have the value that was already there previously. So we want to use value. We want to set that to empty so it'll clear it back out. We also want to do the enter button, and we want to set that display to block so it'll show up again. As well as the tries text, we want to set that up again. So display block. And then we basically want to take the restart button, and we want to actually set that display to a display of none now. So now it's reversed. We also want to reset the number of tries. In the actual source code, I think I had it set to 5 for this right here, but you probably want to set this to 15 to keep it same as up here. You can do whatever you want though. And then winning number, and I want to basically do this again. Now that we want to basically get another random number here. we can do that. And now I want to create another function here. And this is basically going to be the format function. So I'm going to say format tries text. And this basically is almost like in the other game, the update function. This basically just checks a bunch of things here. And just basically makes the tries text a different color if they're running out of attempts. So we're going to say if the number of tries is less than 3, then tries text.style.color is going to now be equal to red. And then we'll do tries text.innerText. We just want to set this to backticks for simpler literal syntax. Tries left colon $ curly brace num of tries. And then we basically want to do that for if it's not less than 3. So then we'll do else. We'll just set this to, I guess, back to default of black, and then tries left colon num of tries again. And then what I want to do is make another function called create response. And for this one, I want to simply do pass in num to check, so number to check. And this is going to create the response of what's going to be said to the user. So number of tries decreased by 1. And now, if the number of tries is equal to -1, meaning that they ran out of tries, then what I actually want to do is say game over, which is that function that we made earlier. And then I want to say return just to get out of the function here, so that we don't continue. So if that's not the case, then I want to actually format the tries text after we decrease this number of tries. So the order for these three are important, because you don't want to format the tries text to show -1. So that's why this is first. And then you want to decrease the number before you format. So that's the order for that. And I want to say if math.absolute value. So this way we can like check by subtracting the two numbers to get the distance between them. Or basically like we're subtracting to get the distance between them. So it'll be num to check minus the winning number. And if that's basically greater than or equal to 9,000, or not 9,000, 900, sorry about that, then basically we want to set the game response here. So game response dot style dot color is going to be equal to, I just said purple. I'm going to say, now we're setting the style of the color here, but we still need to check whether or not whether or not the number is less than the winning number or greater, so we can give them the direction of which way to go. So that would be if num to check minus winning number. Now we don't want to use absolute values anymore. Is less than 0, that means it's less than. Then we want to say user inputted number less than the winning number. And I'm basically going to say game response dot inner text is going to be equal to and if you're using apostrophes, you want to use that front or backslash right here above the enter key to escape that apostrophe, so it'll work. I'm gonna just say you are supercode ... and then I'm basically gonna say higher, just to let them know like that basically they have to go higher. And then I'm gonna say else if it's greater than, and I'm just gonna say the same thing, but I'll just put the comment there as well. And I'm gonna say greater, and then I'm gonna say go lower, like that. And then I want to do that exact same thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, well, first let me create one else if, just because it's gonna be a bunch of else ifs. I want to use if math dot absolute. Then we want to say num to check minus winning number is basically less than 900, because we already did greater than or equal to up there. And So if you remember inequalities in math class, like with the line graph, not the line graph, but like the number line, basically this will be like an and inequality. So it's like between two numbers, not the or one where it's like outside of like that range of the one where it's between. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm gonna say math dot. Don't worry, we're gonna copy and paste this same else if down and just change the numbers in a minute. I just wanted to make this one really quick. So num to check minus winning number um, is greater than or equal to 500. Because remember, we're checking for the distance. We're not checking for like whether it's lower or higher, because then we have to do more conditions. But we can only have to do two conditions for each one because we're checking the distance. So as long as it's either the distance is less than 900 or if it's greater than or equal to 500, then we just want to do this again. Now, for each one, I kind of changed the color as well. So for this one, I set it to red. And I actually changed the message to something like you were way, way, way off. Go higher. So remember that this is if it's if the number is less than, and then I can just take this right here and just set it to this one here and just say go lower. And so, some friendly user messages. Probably not that friendly, but it works. And so basically, I want to do this over and over again. So I want to do another one. So now I got a few of these here. So where am I at? Right here. So for this one, this is going to be if the number is basically less than 500. So let me see where we at. So I don't do the wrong one. Okay, so right here. So if the number is less than 500, and we want to say if it's greater than or equal to 300, and then I actually set the color to pink, which is almost like a lighter red. You could do light red as well if you want. I just did pink. And so basically, I'm going to say for this one, you were closer but still way off, go higher. So, closer but still way off, go higher. And then I'm going to copy that and I'm going to put it on this one and I'm just going to say go lower. And then I want to do it for if it's less than 300 and then greater than or equal to 100. And then I want to set the color here to orange. And I want to say, what do I want to say for this one? You are getting closer, go higher. So I'm going to just say you are getting closer. And then I'm going to say the same thing here, go lower. So I'm going to say you're getting closer, go lower. And then for this one, I want to say less than 100, but greater than or equal to 50. Now I'm going to set it to yellow. And I'm going to say you are really close now, go higher. So I'm going to say you were really close now, go higher. I just want to take this one and set it here, go lower. Just so I had the same number of L's here so that it just looks like neat and everything. I actually want to copy this one again. I want to copy it 2 more times. So we'll do like that. And for this one here, I want to set the color to green. And I want to say if it's less than 50 and greater than or equal to 10. So now we're getting really close here. I'm going to say you were super close. Now I changed it to super close like that. We'll just change that one there. And then last but not least, you can change the color of this one too, or any of these if you want. I'm just gonna say you were um, super duper close like that. Just to let them know that like they're getting closer and closer. But this one's basically gonna be if the number is just less than 10. So we're gonna say we're gonna get rid of that condition and we're gonna just say less than 10 like that. And else, I just simply want to say game response style.color red in the text. I don't know. That means like they're that means that they're more off than basically like 900 here. And actually, what I can basically do here, because they wouldn't really know like to enter a number a certain way. So what I'm actually gonna do is right below this, or actually I don't even want to copy that. I'm just gonna say I'll do like a H3. Enter a number between I guess between 1 and 1,000, just to let them basically know like basically where to start and everything. And I'm gonna do these two for the style like that, and I'm also going to give it a margin. I'm just gonna say up and down of I don't want view height, and then left and right of just basically auto. So that should basically let the user know to enter a number. So if they don't enter a number between 1 and 1,000 or it's greater than 900 away, or no, if it's greater than or equal to, it's super code. But um, I guess this one will never get hit. Actually, what I should do here is I should change. Now, this isn't in the source code because I actually was rushing through this as well. I should say if it's greater than or equal to 900, and then I want to copy this here. I want to say it's still less than or equal to 1,000. So basically, it's between 900 and 1,000, and both of those numbers are included. So that way we'll actually get all of our different cases here, including this one if they do something past that. So that's basically it for that function here. So now I want to create another function below that. This was like the biggest function I think here. I want to say function check value. Now this function is going to be dynamic because we want to basically either take in whether the user use the enter key, or if they actually basically hit the enter button. So we'll do enter key press and camel case naming convention. I'm going to set that to a default of 0 as well. And then I want to do if enter key pressed, meaning that the enter key was pressed. Then I want to do, so by default it's 0 because this function gets called within the on-click event listener, as you'll see in a minute, if the button is clicked, so that this will be a 0. But if the button isn't clicked, then I want to set a 1 to this when I call that function, and then it'll all of a sudden do enter key press here. And basically what I want to do is I want to say number to check is equal to, now we have to set this to a number like this. You can also do parse int, but like I'm just simply going to do number and then put it in parentheses. And the user input value is a string, so we're getting it from an input field, and even though we set it to type number, we're still getting a string value. And if you'll do, like, for instance, type of like that, and then this, you'll actually, when you log it, you'll get a string. So you also could do user input instance of string, and you'll get true. You do instance of number, you'll get false. So you can log that if you don't believe me. So I want to basically set this as a number first. And then once I set this as a number, now I can actually do something with it. So if number to check is basically not equal to the winning number, then I simply want to create a response of number to check like that to let the user know. Else, if it is equal, then I want to basically let the user know they've won. So game response.style.color is equal to green. And then I want to say game response.inner text is equal to like you win or something like that. Like, you win. So like that. And basically I just want to do user input. I'm going to set the style display to none. And then I want to basically set the enter button to none. So basically removing these from the screen. Just like earlier. And then I want to set the tries text to none. And then I want to set the restart button to actually like show up now. So it'll be block like that. Display a block. And else, meaning that the enter key wasn't pressed here. We want to actually do our other condition, or do our other basically like logic block. So it'll be number to check is equal still to the user input. Basically, we could really just do one function for this. We don't really need to pass in the enter key because each time I actually set it to the value. So now that I think about it, we can actually get rid of this as well. We don't even need this here. We can just literally check this one time, so we can get rid of this completely. Earlier I was setting it because I was doing it a different way to know like which way was being hit, and I was logging stuff and everything. But I actually just want to set it like that. It just makes more sense. Less lines of code, looks neater. So that's the way I'm going to do that. So now I want to add an event listener. So this is going to be user input add event listener. There's going to be key press. Now the enter key is 13 for the key code. So I want to do function. And I want to simply do if, and I want to pass in the event parameter here. So if e.keycode is equal to 13, then I want to basically call that check value function. I just want to do the number because I want to parse it as a number. e.target.value. Now this is going to get us the value that's inside of that input. Now remember, I'm not passing in the key code anymore. I know with the source code it basically had a 1 there, but I'm not actually doing that anymore, as you can see here. This should work either way because both times we're just getting the user input.value anyway because we have it linked with that ID inside of this HTML element up here. So we don't actually need to do an if else for that. So that's actually everything here. If we run it here, you can see that it should work. Okay, get rid of that. Sorry about that. Once again, you can get the open browser extension in VS Code, or I think I already have it here. You can just simply do Alt B and it'll open it. Now, if you notice, I don't have Wi-Fi on because you don't need Wi-Fi unless you're doing some kind of fetch request when you're opening this in the browser. So you can see enter number between 1 and 1,000. If we enter a number, for instance, like -1,000, I don't know. Before I do this, actually, let's log the winning number. And the reason why I want to do that is simply because I want to basically, so we can do winning number. I just want to basically show you that it works. And so, I mean, I don't feel like having to guess here all the time. So, the winning number like that, I think is what I called it, right? Winning number. Yeah. And put a little colon there. So let's actually run this again now. And if we inspect, you can see we get the winning number is 36. So now we know what it is. So we can do 1,000 like that. I don't know. If we do like 950, use super code. I'm trying to do the math in my head for this. Let's do like 560 or something. You're way off, go lower. This is how we test everything. There's good ways to test this. Let's do like 320, so less than between 300. You're getting closer, go lower. I missed the case. Let's do 350. You're closer but still way off, go lower. You can change the color if that doesn't match with the theme, or if you did a different theme, you can change it to make good contrast there. So then we already did this one here. I'm hitting the enter key. I'm not even hitting the enter button. And so you're getting closer, go lower. I can even do, so I think the next one was less than 100, so 120, I think. Or maybe, no, I think it was one before that. If I hit enter, you can see it's still working. You're really close now, go lower. Now if I do less than 100, or not less than 100, but less than 50, which would be like 86 or lower. So let me do like 96 or something like that. Oh no, that's still between. Okay, wait. Let's try less than 50. So let's do 70. Let's just do 70. You were super close. Now go lower. And so now if I did like for instance 46, it'll still say you were super close. Go lower. And if I did 45, you were super duper close. Now go lower, because 46 is, 36 plus 10 is 46, so it's still greater than or equal to 10. But the moment I say less than 10, you're super duper close, go lower. If I do 35, this should change to higher. And if I hit it, you see the number of tries is less than less. So if I hit that again, you see it goes red here. And now I'm down to one attempt. Now if I actually get it wrong, you lose, right? You restart, and the tries here should actually still be set to 15. So that's a bug there. So actually, let me fix that. Let's go here. So that might be a bug in the source code. So let me see. Um, so when we reset that, number of tries is 50. Oh, I know what I did. Basically, I never formatted it after I actually did something. So you want to format the tries text here again, like that. That should actually allow it to work properly. So now if we run this, let's just get it wrong first. So wait, the number of tries isn't showing up. Oh, you know what? That's because I didn't actually set it by default. Let me actually do that as well. So basically, we're setting it here, but we want to set it by default. So we can just take this line here. We can just put it like anywhere we want, but I'm gonna just put it at the very bottom here. Now if I run it, it should show up. There we go, 15. And now let me just enter, and you can see it's steadily going down here. So now when I lose, restart, it goes back to 15. Now if I win, because I like to be a winner, so if I win, you can see you can even choose it with the number here. So the number is 478 this time. So let's say I win, right? Pop. And wait. Winning number 478. Uh, interesting. Why is it not working? For some reason, it says it's far off. Uh, when I restarted, I set it to this again. That's interesting. Let me actually, let me see here. Number of tries. I just want to log. I want to log the winning number, or not the winning number, but the num to check here. So I'm just gonna do num to check like that. I'm gonna say num to check, and if I come back here, inspect. So it's 950 this time. If I enter 950, so it says you win. But I think what's happening is, for some reason, there's a bug. So if I try it again here, you can see that the winning number doesn't show up. We still have 950. It doesn't give me the new winning number. That's probably because I didn't actually log the value. It's probably another winning number, but I just didn't log it here actually. So let me take this. Let me log where I set it at, which is up here. What is log this? Oh. Let's inspect it again. Now it's 539. You win. Restart. Now it's 321. I'll just get it wrong. You lose. Restart. Now it's 212. So if I enter 211, you can see the number to check is 211. If I enter 212, I win. So whatever the bug was, now it's fixed. I'm not really sure what it was. Maybe I didn't save it. But now you can see everything works here. So there you go. Nice little app, or game that you basically can show to people and have them play it to show like what you've learned. Now, if you're really able to understand these three games, then you should be really good with JavaScript logic now, because that's basically just doing different things in JavaScript, using document manipulation. I know in the first one, like the card matching game, I did some event delegation, where I basically set an event listener to all the different divs, like say flip over and everything. But this one here, I basically was just showing you how to basically just how to like take in the input, very basic. This one kind of had things that consisted of the other two as well. The one before that was the can't catch me game. That basically showed you like a little bit of like transitioning or like translation, transformations and stuff and different things of that nature. So if I like think of different ideas for different games to make, I might I'm gonna do some more of these. But this is just something to show you. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section. And see you later.